Welcome to Beyond Your Radio's Keep It Dark. Tonight and every other Thursday, we explore the doom and gloom, the murky, swampy, and even scary, the psychologically challenging edges of melody, industrial, and metal, the underbelly of sinister vocals, instrumental insanities that range from dark ambient to dark cabaret to dark core, from gothic and southern gothic to hardcore black metal, doom, and the genres and moments, bands and artists and places somehow bewitched betwixt between sounds. As I say, this is not for the faint of ear. I make no promises where this bleak audio experience will lead us tonight, but for this brief time, let's explore together. What happens after that? Well, that's up to you whether you keep it dark or not. So shall we? Tonight, I'm going to explore a progressive black doom dark metal band that I have tried once to experience and kind of got thrown right out of Watershed. But they are cherished around the world, and they're on album 14 tonight. They've toured with Porcupine Tree, Mastodon, Ghost, Gojira, Enslaved, Graveyard, and even been at the festivals like Download. This 2024 record is right up there in anticipation like that of The Cure and Linkin Park, but on a different scale in the music multiverse. The dark anticipation, the progressive melancholy, madness, and intense lyric and vocal presence has been missing since 2019, and the starving masses are certainly ripe for the Swedish Death Progressive Metal masters, Opeth. So behold another cover that's such a dark richness to it that I'm immediately petrified and worried that I'm back at the Watershed. This is The Last Will and Testament by Opeth on Keep It Dark. So first of all, I'm befuddled. When I turn to the songs, they're literally, this is an all-in concept record. Mind you, that I've not listened to or read anything about the album. I did actually accidentally see Pete Pardo with his thumb up pointing to the record. But sorry, I'm not sorry, really. It's you know what I look at it? It's like him saying, Mark, it's okay, you can do this. Forget what went on at the Watershed. See, even that seems creepy. So every song is a section, as if it is a last will and testament, or a chapter, if you will. So, and I'll let the vocal of the man behind the, like most of this madness and everything that's conjured, Michael Eckerfeld, tell you whose last will and testament it is. Well, there's the growling, but on key and structured. I'm not scared. Okay. What I'm thinking is that if this is a Viking kind of reading from a son, right? Who else but the devil's father could read it such a way? It's not like in those days you're going to bequeathed anything really good, right? Maybe you're going to get a torch, an old torch, maybe a heavy broadsword that you can't even pick up, and a sheep, all right? But it's just the way he growls it. It's every single second in musicianship around him throughout this record. It's not that he growls the whole way. No, he can sing. He's got beautiful melodies and harmonies, but it's where the tracks lead. It's how they swallow you. It's how it ebbs, it flows, and divertly depicts this somberness with all kinds of progressive natures. And I mean all kinds of progressive natures. It's like they opened the kingdom of doom, and they sucked in the beauty and musical pageantry of Genesis, very old Genesis, Gentle Giant, and of course, Yes. This is section 4. And yes, wait for it, they even introduce a new member. Yes, everyone. Welcome Ian Anderson to the Opeth fold, Jethro Tull. He even has a speaking part, and I think he has two actually, within the album, and they are absolutely incredibly done, and they bleed into the bleakness with a reverence that is stupendous. It's inviting, and it's got that creep factor to it too. No, but section 4 isn't over. And this record is nowhere near over with instrumentation. The strings, gorgeously dark and foreboding, slightly intriguing, yet then suddenly you're cast into a Faith No More moment. Yes, they got that on there too. We'll call that progressive alternative. Sure, you're aware of the dark nature of the topic and the enveloping reading of this last will and testament of someone, but it's so beautiful. It's a Siren's progressive metal and progressive classical rock overture of darkness that is so compelling. It's exhilarating at times and primal in a sadness that's very relatable. And quite possibly an album that's going to propel me forward into Opeth's progressive music abyss. Hell, after the last will and testament, I'm pretty much ready for Damnation. If you're not an Opeth individual or fan, Damnation is one of the records sort of in the middle of the pile of albums. I think you might be too. The band members, I mean, I told you about Michael Ackerfeld. You've got Martin Mendez, bass, backing vocals. He's been with the band. Frederick Eckerson's been in there for a long time. You've got another individual playing piano, but this is the first time that Waltteri Väyrynen has been the drummer, and I think he does a splendid job with the percussion and the drums. He does backing vocal too. It's an important piece to Opeth, and it has been for quite some time, since at least Damnation, from what I'm gathering from people. Again, Ian Anderson's on here. Joey Tempest is even on here. If you don't know who that is, he's from Europe. Yeah, that's right. The Final Countdown. He has backing vocals as well. You also have the string arrangements done by Dave Stewart. So you've got just so much. There's even a harp on here too. Not to mention Mellotron and everything else you kind of expect from a progressive band. Studio albums from Opeth, if you're after your experience here, if you're willing to go down or want to go down. It starts in 1995 with Orchid. In 1996, there's Morning Rise. In 1998, it's My Arms, Your Hearse. Then it's Still Life in 1999. Blackwater Park in 2001. That is their breakthrough record, from what I gather. Deliverance in 2002. That is the heaviest album, from what fans say. And then Damnation, which is a two-parter that Steve Wilson's involved in that project. That's a double album that's my next venture, and probably should be yours too if you love this record. Then it goes Ghost, Reveries, Watershed, which I tried. That's the 2008. Heritage, Pale Communion, Sorceress, and In Code Venom, which I believe is in English and in Swedish, but I don't have the whole thing. And then this album, The Last Will and Testament. Why this kind of music? Opeth has always been the platform of Arkefeld. He's not a stationary kind of musician. He's a great lover of progressive old school rock, but not only that, he loves great musical compositions. He loves challenging the overall music ceiling and even the establishment. And he's an avid collector, individual talking with other people. And he's not this just in his own head. He's everywhere. And he's a seeker. You can't be afraid to go down in the darkness, as it has its beauty, tragedy, anthems, even. And in this case, a progressive mysticism approach that encapsulates what is to truly be progressive, even if it's dark. Thank you for taking the time to go on this journey of sound with me. We'll be doing this again in 2 weeks for more on the dark side of music. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course. Articles, videos, podcasts coming very soon. It's a few weeks away. It's all about albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Thanks for watching and happy listening.